Recording in progress.
Before you join me on the mat in this moment, grab a few items. I have a mat out. I have a foam roller, blocks, a blanket. I have a strap and some water. And I also have my band, my resistance band, and it's already tied in a knot. So do that. Get ready, lay out your mat, and let's get started. Hello and welcome to this moment. I am Natalie. It is so fantastic to see you in this moment. Welcome to my home. Welcome to this moment. I don't know when you're watching this, but for me right now, it is New Year's Eve 2023, and I'm stepping into this new year, hopefully with you on the right steps. So today we're going to have a workout, working that lower body. So grab a few items for me, a blanket or a pillow. I have my resistance band. I have some water, of course, a block, a few blocks, and I have a foam roller. I'm very fortunate to have one of these small foam rollers. So if you don't have one of these, a rolled up blanket or a pillow will do. So we'll just move those out of the way. Before we get started, I want to thank you with my whole heart, my whole being, for joining me this whole year. This year was filled with some wonderful, beautiful moments, some rough moments, some sad moments, it was the whole thing, right? So I just want to congratulate you for experiencing it all. Thank you for spending this moment with me in time. Your time is precious, and I'm so grateful that you are here. Thank you again, and welcome to my home. I am Natalie. Get ready. Let's get started for a lower body workout to step into your day, hopefully on the right foot. Join me down on the mat and head on all the way down to your backs, please. Grab those items so they're within arm's reach. So I'm going to unfold my blanket so that I can lay my head on it so my shoulders can relax. So head on down, be adventurous, come down to one hip or all the way down on your back, whichever way feels great to you. And start with both feet flat on the mat. Start to wiggle, adjust, wiggle between those shoulder blades, and allow your lower back to press into the mat and release. And do that a few times, finding that rocking motion. Now, even though we're going to do some strength today, I have some soft music playing because I'd like to approach these movements not fast, but slow and precise. And after that feels good and you've rocked back and forth a few times, wiggle between those shoulder blades. Let's take our arms out to a lowercase t, arms out to the side. Again, wiggle between those shoulder blades. Your arms are heavy, feet are flat on the mat. And let's just carry our head over to that right side. Let's find some movement in your neck. Breathing in and out. And like I said before, be adventurous. What kind of breath suits you in this moment? In through the nose, out through the nose. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Whatever feels appropriate to you in this moment, take it here. And let's look back up at the ceiling. Wiggle between those shoulder blades again. And let's look over our left shoulder. Howdy. So grateful for you. This year has been fantastic. Filled with so many highs, some lows, everything in between, a lot of learning. And I learned a lot with you guys too, so thank you for being here in the moment with me. So many moments this year. Take one more breath here. And return that head looking back up. Wiggle between those shoulder blades. Shoulders away from those ears. Let's draw in one knee, then the other. Squeeze those knees close to your chest, but your arms are heavy, your shoulders are heavy, and rock back and forth for me. Slight massage on your lower back. And take some knee circles if it feels good. And remember, I'm just a guide. I'm always looking to guide you in the direction that'll feel good. But sometimes there's a movement that feels better to you in this moment. So take it here now. Maybe your knees come apart and then together, drawing circles that way. Just reverse that motion if you do that. And take any last wiggles on your back with those knees. And let's lower our left foot to the floor, drawing that right knee closer. And if your shoulders pop up off the mat, that's okay. Just think of them away from those ears and making themselves their way back to the mat. Let's circle that right ankle, both directions. Flexing and pointing, swaying that ankle side to side. Expanding those toes and pointing them. Do all the things that feel good to you right here, right now. And draw that leg even closer. And imagine your tailbone lengthening along the mat. And let's clasp those hands behind that thigh or on that thigh, on your hamstring. And we're going to work on some flexibility here in a different way. I don't think we've ever done here before. So draw that thigh closer, as close as you can, but keep a soft bend in your knee. Especially if you're watching this first thing in the morning, keep a really generous bend in that knee. And then I want you to push your hamstring into your clasp hand. I want you to find that tension and hold it there. And then release. Draw that thigh closer, perhaps. Lengthen your tailbone. And press that hamstring, fire on that hamstring into your palm of your hands. Beautiful. And release. And gently bend that knee. If you have a strap, you can grab it. If you don't, that's a-okay. You can pull that leg closer closer, either using your calf or a pant leg or the back of your leg. Do whatever you need to right here, right now. Make sure everything is out of the way, because we're going to open up to that right side. Flex those toes, bend that knee if you need to. Take both ends of the strap into your right hand. Make sure your shoulders are onto the ground. Open that left arm out to the side, and then open that right leg out to that side. Your left leg may open a tad to balance yourself out. Engage your lower abdominals. Flex that foot. We're not here forever, so just take a few breaths here. Engage your abdominals, returning both legs back to the center. Flexing that foot. Let's bend that knee and then press that heel up. Do that a few times. Really pressing that heel to the ceiling. And again, you can have that knee bent. Taking both ends of the strap into your left hand, open up that right arm out to the side. Allow that right shoulder to be nice and heavy, and then just cross that center line. It's a slight movement. Hip is down on the mat. It's not lifting up. I'm pressing that heel towards the ceiling. Oh yeah. Just take this right here, right now for a few breaths. If there's ever a movement or stretch that you're doing and you can't breathe or it takes your breath away, that just means you've gone a little bit too far. No worries, back away. And let's return that leg back up, please. Let's bend and straighten that leg a couple times. Beautiful. Let's bend that knee super generously. Remove the strap if you had it. Lengthen that leg. And then I just want you to lower it straight all the way down. Lengthen your left leg to meet the right leg. Stretch those arms above your head. Stretch in both directions. How about you spread those fingertips and those toes? Awesome. Hopefully you feel a nice flush down that right leg. And then what I'd like you to do is bring both feet onto the mat, arms out into a T. And before we head over to that other side, let's just lower those knees to one side. I'm looking straight up. I'm not gonna look to the opposite side yet, and lower to those knees to the other side, to that left side, and just windshield wiper back and forth. And keep these movements slow. Maybe you pause in a spot that feels really good. One more time, right and left. And then we'll take that stretch on that other side. Returning those knees back up. Let's draw that right knee in, close to your chest, and then your left one, a big old squeeze. And then rock back and forth if it feels good. Draw a circle with those knees, apart or together. Whatever feels good. Be adventurous. If there's something you haven't tried, try it. You're in the safety of your own home. And then find some stillness. Lower that right foot to the mat and draw that left thigh super close to your body. So I'm clasping my shin. Just finding some compression in that hip. I'm lengthening my tailbone. Allow those shoulders to be heavy. Let's give your leg a big old squeeze. And let's circle the toes of that left foot in both directions. Point and flex, sway that ankle side to side, up and down. Spread those toes and then really point them. Let's take those toe stretches. Draw that leg even closer still. And then let's clasp on that hamstring, behind the hamstring, behind that thigh. Draw that leg even closer and straighten that leg to where it's comfortable for you. If you notice, I am keeping a super bend in both of my legs, especially the one that's kind of straight, my left one. Draw it super close to your body, and then we're going to do what we did on the other side. We're going to press that hamstring into your clasp hand and just hold it there. Fire it on. And then relax. Were you holding your breath? I guess I was. Draw that thigh closer, lengthen your tailbone, and let's do that one more time. Let's fire on that hamstring into your clasp hand. Fantastic. And gently release. Super bend in that left knee. Grab your strap if you have one. If you don't, again, no worries. Taking a hold of that wherever you can. Your hamstring, your calf, whatever. And let's place that strap below those toes. Flex those toes. Press that heel towards the ceiling. Allow those shoulders to be heavy, taking both ends of the strap into each hand and bend and straighten a few times for me. Kind of focusing on your lower body today. So we step into the new year or today or this moment on the right foot. Doing something for you today. A little self-care. Giving your body some love. Let's take both ends of the strap into your left hand. Before you open up to that left side, make sure there's nothing there that you kick over. Let's extend that right arm out. Allow that right shoulder to stay on the mat or on the floor and open up to that left side. Your right thigh may splay open a little bit to help balance you, but please keep those abdominals engaged, especially your pelvic floor. And then just relax into this. Just open. I'm flexing through that foot, really pressing through that heel. That's what feels good to me in the moment. Plus I have this strap, so it's kind of, you definitely can point and flex if you like. Now maybe if you don't have a strap, I didn't say this on the other side, maybe you keep that knee bent and you're just holding onto that shin. Take one more breath here, my friends. Return everything back to the center. Your core is engaged. Let's bend and straighten that leg a couple more times before we cross that center line. Taking both ends of the strap into that right hand. Let's open that left arm out to the side. Allow that left shoulder to be heavy and then just cross that center line. Again, I am flexing through this foot. I'm engaging my core. I'm lengthening my tailbone. And then I'm trying to just relax into it. And let's return your foot back up to the center. You can bend and straighten a few times. And then bend that knee a lot. Remove the strap, straighten that leg again, and with control, lower that left leg all the way down. Straighten your right leg to meet the left. Extend those arms above your head. Oh, flex those toes, those fingers, extend in both directions. Stretch. Beautiful. Let's bring those feet back onto the mat. Let's do those windshield wipers with our knees, please. Arms where it feels comfortable. I'm just swaying those knees side to side. And then if you'll please stay over onto your right side. Couple options here. You can pick up that right leg, place the right foot onto that left thigh, increasing the stretch. You can also cross the thighs and allow them to be heavy. And you can also look over your left shoulder. Take it where you like in this moment. And breathe. If you had that leg on that thigh, let's carefully remove it. Engage your core, and let's return our head and knees back up to the center. Awesome. Readjust if you need to, and windshield wiper those legs again a few times. Finally landing over there on your left side. And I like to stay here for a breath or two before I add any additional things. You can lift that left leg. You can pick up that left foot and place it on that left thigh. You can cross those thighs and allow those legs to sink. And you can look over your right shoulder. Both of your shoulders are super heavy. Take one more breath here for me. Remove that leg if it was placed on that right one. Core engaged, and return both your knees and head back to the center. Draw those knees into your chest. A gentle rock. And let's get into our side bodies. And then we'll get into those legs. Let's gently lengthen those legs nice and long along the mat. Actually bring them back onto the mat, the feet back onto the mat. Lift those hips, carry them over to that right side. Now we can lengthen those legs. Those chest and legs are inching over to that left side into this banana shape. Arms are overhead, maybe elbows are clasped, maybe cross the ankle. Really getting into that side body, adjusting where it feels good to you, and then relax into it. And and unclasp those hands, returning your body back onto the mat. And then lifting those hips over to that left side, inching your torso, your legs over to that right side, clasping elbows, crossing ankles if it feels good, adjusting to the stretch that feels good to you, and allow both shoulders to be on the mat. You can also have your arms straight above, using your right hand to guide that left wrist higher above, or clasping those elbows, whatever feels good to you. Nice job. Release the stretch. Return back to where you were on the mat. Nice work. And before we start on those legs, let's fire on those abdominals. Let's bring our knees to our chest, pressing our lower back into the mat, and let's lift our torso off the mat. No tension in your neck. You can shake it and nod it, wiggle your jaw. And we're going to straighten our right leg, and then switch. And then switch. Back and forth. Really pressing your lower back into the mat. Few more here. You're doing awesome. Nice job. Both of your knees into your chest. And gently release onto the mat. Make sure you have your resistance band close by. And before we do anything at all, bring those feet close to your glutes. Press your lower back into your mat. Palms, hands, arms to the sides of your body. Palms facing the mat. Wiggle between, wiggle your jaw, no tension in your jaw. Wiggle between those shoulder blades. And I want you to fire on those glutes. You are pressing into those feet, but I really want you to press into those glutes. Fire them on, and then press yourself up and gently lower. Let's do that again. And like I said, let's do 7 more. Like I said, we're going to take this movement slow. Really working, stabilizing as we move through this movement. Really checking out what each part of our body does, how it works together. I lost count, of course. Welcome to my show. If you know anything, I'm like, 4 more. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. But let's do 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. And let's do 1 extra one and hold it here. Relax between those shoulder blades, your jaw. Squeeze those glutes even higher. Resist gravity as you release. Gorgeous. Let's bring those feet closer to our glutes. Lower those knees to that right side. Clasp those hands behind our head, and let's do some oblique crunches. Lift and lower. 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Beautiful. Bring those knees back up to the center. Lengthen your arms, your legs in both directions. Wiggle those hips. You guys rock. Let's do the other side. But we got to start with working those glutes. So bring those heels, those feet back to the mat, heels close to those glutes. Maybe they're even closer. I don't know. Hands to your side. Wiggle your jaw. Wiggle between those shoulder blades. Adjust your head if it popped up. Shoulders are heavy. Core's engaged. Press lower back into the mat and squeeze those glutes and lift. So I'm going to shoot for 12. Take your time, really squeezing, feeling each of those muscles working together. If you start to feel tension in your jaw, wiggle it, relax. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you do your bonus one. Press those hips high. Wiggle your jaw. Squeeze those glutes and hold it here. Squeezing those thighs even closer together. And gently release. Slowly, please. And let's lower those knees to that left side. Clasp those hands. Take them behind your head. Your head is heavy. Elbows splayed to the side. I think on the other side, my elbows started to come up. So if that happens, release the tension and then continue. So I'm going to shoot for about 16 of these. And here we go. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I like to hold the last one. Hold it and resist and lower. Beautiful. Bring knees back up. Lengthen in both directions, please. Nice and long. Wiggle those hips. And let's grab that resistance band. And hopefully you already made a knot. Kind of a small little opening, big enough to bring both of those legs through. And you're going to bring it midway, about midway to those thighs. So my feet are hip distance width. We're going to do those bridges again. So you bring those arms to your side and you're going to lift and you're going to squeeze those glutes. So you're going to lift and then you're going to open and close. Let's shoot for 10. Lift higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gently lower. Now you may have to adjust your resistance band. That's a-okay. So if you don't have one, you still can do the same thing. You just have to work your core harder. Let's do that again. Hands to the side, palms facing the mat. Wiggle between those shoulder blades. Adjust your head, neck and shoulders if need be. No tension. Engage your core. Press lower back into the mat. Press those hips up by squeezing those glutes. Maybe a little bit higher this time. Engage. And then open and close. Seven, 6, 5, 4, lift higher, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful work. Gently lower. Beautiful. Let's roll over to that left side so that you can see me at least the first time through, right? Laying on that left side. It's my left side, so maybe roll to your right side. So I'm going to lay on my left side, but I think it's the right where you are. And I am going to support myself with my bicep. So I'm going to lay nice and long. And I'm going to bring my legs to a 90-degree angle. And you know where I'm going with this, don't you? You can also come up halfway and open and close. So that's what I'm going to do. But keep that spine engaged. I'm keeping my feet in contact. And open and close. Oh, 'tis Susanna Summers, huh? The Thigh Master. I was going to support myself. You can do this. Open and close. Yeah, I'm just letting you do as many. Maybe try out both. See what feels best. And wherever you are, let's do 5 more. And 1 more. Beautiful. Let's lower down. If you are up high, I'm going to support myself on my bicep. And I'm going to lengthen that top leg. I'm going to flex this top foot. And I'm going to lead with my heel back. So lift and lower. I'm keeping this one in a 90-degree angle. The one that's closest to the mat. So really lead with that heel, engaging that glute. And yes, you need to keep that core engaged for stability. Feel that resistance. Feel that glute firing on. And just keep doing this. How are you feeling over there? Is your glute on fire? Mine is. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. I pointed my toes a few times. Oh, beautiful work. Let's roll back onto that back. We'll stretch out those quads and those glutes and all the things in just a moment. But roll back onto your back. Wiggle between those shoulder blades again. Guess what? We're going to lift those glutes off the mat again. 2 more sets. I believe in you. You got this. So find all the engagements. Wiggle between those shoulder blades, no tension. Draw those heels close to your glutes. and fire on those glutes. Lower back pressed into the mat, core engaged. Squeeze the glutes to press those hips up. And let's open and close. Keep going, finding that softness, that flow, but it's resistance, and you're working really hard here. So proud of you. Thank you for showing up with me in this moment. Maybe lift higher. Make sure there's no tension in your jaw or shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Gently lower. We're going to do one more set before we flip over to that other side. Walk those heels into those glutes a little bit more. Press those hips up by squeezing those glutes. And open and close again. Core engaged. Can you feel your core working? Eight more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently lower onto the mat and roll over to the other side. For me, it's my right side. I'm going to flip over this way because I don't want to have my back to you. Seems impolite. So, support yourself on that elbow. Make sure, I did not say this on the other side, so hopefully I did it. Elbow and shoulder in alignment, so you don't want it too far the other way. So I also like to spread my fingertips, make them do the work too, or all the way down. I'm gonna grab some water. Excuse me. Find where it works for you. Still have the resistance band on. Heels are together and open and close. Even here, I'm keeping my core engaged. Hopefully my side isn't too intense. I can really feel my glutes working here. How about yourself? Super awesome. Thank you so much for joining me in this lower body workout today. Hopefully you're not cursing me too much. Beautiful. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, I really felt that last one. I'm going to lengthen my right arm, or whichever arm you haven't done. Laying all the way down, supporting yourself with your bicep, laying on that bicep. I'm also using that front hand to support myself so I don't roll forward or back, but I'm also keeping my core engaged. Create a 90-degree angle with those knees and ankles. Let's straighten that top leg, flex that foot, and we're going to lead with the heel back behind us to really engage those glutes. Can't wait to hear how you're feeling. Here comes Misty. Oh, did you see her? Misty, come closer. Misty. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and one more. Yeah, nice work. Let's press ourselves. Actually, just roll onto your back, please. Wherever you are, roll onto your back. Let's remove that strap. I'm sorry. Resistance band. Flip it out of the way. And just draw those knees into your chest again. And then I want you to be adventurous. I want you to rock yourself up. Now, you know you can roll to one side and press yourself up. But why don't you rock yourself up? Be adventurous. And if you don't get up the first time, you know what I like to do? Cross those ankles. Hands behind those thighs. And just rock a few times. And then bring yourself up. Swing those legs to the front. Make sure you have those blocks within reach. We're going to do a few more exercises before we say goodbye. We have a few more exercises, so no worries. Still keeping into the theme with our legs. We're going to sit nice and tall. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Remove the flesh away from your seat's bones. And we're just going to press the back of the knee into the mat. We're going to engage that quad. That's all we're going to do. You can alternate. You can do one at a time. I'm going to shoot for about 10 to 12 each side. So I just want to fire that on. I don't even know if you can see that movement. It's such a slight movement. I'm kind of exaggerating it now. But just do that. Keep your lower abdominals engaged, but keep on breathing. And once you've done one side and it feels good enough, head on over to that other side. You can also sit on the edge of a blanket. I usually do that. I didn't grab it because I kind of want to get through this. Because I love this next part so much. A few more, please. And when that feels good, shake it out, wiggle it out. Maybe you need to forward fold to release that lower back. Also stretching those hamstrings. If you need to do that, go right ahead. I invite you to round through the spine. Kind of surrender through it. Soft knees. Maybe a gentle shake of your head, a nod of your head. And then pressing those palms into the mat, roll yourself up. And then roll a blanket or get a pillow, or I have my cute little foam roller. I love this thing. It's just my size. I love when I find things that are tiny. I think I got this at Big 5. Anyways, so put it under that knee, and I'm fortunate to be able to fit both of my legs on it. So roll that blanket, or you can even use a block. And we're going to sit nice and tall again. I'm removing the flesh. Roll your shoulders. And the same movement as we did before, we're pressing the back of the knee into the foam roller or whatever you have behind that leg and lowering it. You can alternate. You can just do one at a time. Let's shoot for about 10 or 12 each side again. And then when you've finished on that side, head over to the other side. Make sure you find all those engagements first. Lengthen your spine. Try not to tilt that chin up or down too much. Lift your heart, your chest. Gosh, so demanding. Core engage, especially that. All the things, actually. Lovely. Finish up on that side. And then remove whatever you have behind those knees away. And this time, if you didn't do it before, let's do it here. Remove the flesh. Soft bend in the knees. I have my feet a little bit wider than hip distance width. Let's hinge from the hips nice and long and then round through the spine. Flip those palms so they're facing the floor of the mat. Press into them. Take your time rolling up, please. Roll all the way up. Nice work. Grab a block. And using that hip flexor, we've been engaging all of those muscles to prepare us to work that hip flexor. So you might want to try this without a block, but this is what it looks like with a block. So I'm going to place it to the outside of that right leg. I'm going to sit nice and tall. And actually this time I am going to sit and raise my hips up off the mat just a smidge. It works for me. Take a moment to see what works for you, to support your body here in this moment, and then find all those engagements, and then we're just going to lift and bring it back. So about 10 or 12 again this side. Maybe you've been doing this exercise for a while, so maybe you do this, or maybe you stack some blocks. So whatever you choose to do it here and now, about 10 or 12. Adjust if you need to. Pretend you have this beautiful message on your shirt, or maybe you have a beautiful shirt on. Lift your heart, your chest. Ooh, mine is feeling fatigued. I'm going to do one more. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Shake it out. Head over to the other side. And then we'll stretch it all out. Again, be adventurous. Try it out. Lifting, opening up to the side with or without the blocks, stack blocks on the higher levels. You choose what you want to do right here, right now. Just set it up and then we'll stretch it out. Find those engagements. Again, I haven't said it this video or this moment. Sometimes I like to pretend there's a suspender on my lower rib to that hip bone. For me, sometimes I start to lift and open my ribs. That's not what I'm talking about when I say open. So find this connected, lifting from your chest, opening through the shoulders. And taking it over to the other side. I also really feel my lower abdominals working here. Again, 10 or 12, maybe more, maybe less. Be kind and gentle to yourself. You're awesome. Ooh, this side it felt a little more fatigued. I'm going to do a couple more. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Let's remove those blocks. Actually, keep them to the side of you. We're going to get up and stretch. So place them on either side of the mat and let's swing those legs. Before you swing them to the side, let's take the hands behind you. Roll those shoulders back and down. And just windshield wiper side to side. And I think we need to do one more forward fold before we stretch those legs out. I really enjoy doing the forward folds with my hips up a little bit. You can also sit on a block, a pillow. So lengthen those legs long, but keep a soft bend in them. I'm sitting on the edge of my blanket. core engaged, nice long spine open and lifting. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, hinge with a nice long spine as far as you can, and then round through the spine. Take 3 deep breaths here. If you need to, sigh it out your open mouth. Press into the palms of those hands. Walk yourself back up. Roll shoulders up, back, and down. And now swing those knees around. Remove anything from your mat that is in your way. Come up to those knees. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And let's bring that right leg to the front. And let's do a nice lunge. You can lengthen that back leg as long as you like, sinking those hips towards the mat. Nice long spine. Find that 90-degree angle here in that front leg. Now I want you to be adventurous. This is your stretch. Maybe you stay up tall using the blocks. Maybe you inhale, lengthen, and then exhale. Allow those hips to sink further. Maybe you come down to your fingertips. Maybe to the palms of your hands. Whatever. I want you to take this stretch for you in your body, what it needs in this moment right now. Take 3 deep breaths here. With each exhale, allow those hips to sink further. And then if you were down on your palms of your hands or your fingertips, let's come up to those thighs, press yourself up. You can even use your blocks to press yourself up. Then I want you to bring that left leg right over that left knee. Flex that right foot. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, keep that spine long into this half splits. You can use your blocks. You don't need to. You can maybe you're super flexible and can bring fingertips. I am not quite there. Try and keep that spine as long as you can. Flex those toes and then point them and then flex. And then point one more time. And then using your blocks or not, press yourself back up. Bend that front knee. And then bring that foot back to meet your left leg. Bring yourself up to those knees. Flex those toes along the mat. And let's sit back onto those heels. This is a great place for a blanket underneath those glutes or on top of those heels, or even a block, depending on how your knees are feeling. Really find the length in your spine. We're not here for long. Lift your heart, your chest. Find all the engagements. And let's come off of those toes. You can make a fist out of those toes, open them, wiggle them. Maybe you need to bat them onto the mat. Let's come up halfway. Let's bring that left foot forward, setting up that lunge on that other side. Lengthen that right leg behind you. Take the lunge how you want to. You know the options. Keep your core engaged. I'm trying to shoot for a long spine. When you find that lunge that works for you, take 3 deep breaths here. And with each exhale, allow those hips to sink further, closer to the mat. If your fingers or hands or palms were down on the mat, press yourself up, using blocks or not, pressing those hips back, pressing that leg is right over that right knee, and then flex those left toes. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, hinge forward for the splits on the other side. Flex those toes towards your nose or towards that kneecap. We'll point and flex in just a moment, but let's first take this flex. Shoot for a nice long spine energy coming out the top of your head. And then we point and flex that foot. Point and flex. One more time. And then invite that bend in that front knee, finding that lunge one more time. And then bring that leg back to meet the right knee. Flex those toes along the mat. Let's do one more toe stretch. Roll shoulders up, back, and down. And then lower those hips towards those heels. Lengthen your spine. Nice job today. Thank you for joining me in this moment. Let's come back off of those toes, squeeze them, extend them, wiggle them, bat them on the mat. Find your tabletop, cat and cow on your own time. Releasing your spine. And then return to a nice tabletop. Let's lengthen those palms in front of you just a tad, pressing those hips forward into your plank. And come into a plank. Let's do one last strength move. Maybe you lift one knee and then lower it, and then the other, and then lower it, or you do both. We're not here forever. Test yourself. And then lift those hips up and back. And pedal through those feet, please. Lifting those hips towards the ceiling. Bend those knees super generously. Walk ragdoll towards your palms of your hands. And you're here in this nice forward fold. Shake your head, nod it. Maybe you take this moment to grab opposite elbows. You sway a little bit. Maybe you do that elephant walk, which is bending and straightening opposite knees. Your head is heavy though. Take whatever you need right here, right now. And then I want you to widen those feet to where it feels good, but I want you to keep those toes pointing forward. So all I did was toe heel my feet away from each other in this straddle stretch. And I want you to lift those hips, and I want you to walk out those hands. You're in this wide-legged down dog. Press those hips up. A very slight sway side to side, getting into those inner thighs. And then walk those hands underneath those shoulders. Bend your right knee. And press those hips back up by straightening your right knee. Now bend your left knee. And back up through center. And let's do that again one more time each side. And then super gently with soft knees, toe heel those feet right underneath those hips. And hanging here like a rag doll for one more breath. And then I want you to bend your knees generously, drop your hips, tuck in your abdominals. Actually, I take that back, scratch that. Engage those abdominals and press firmly into both of those feet and take your time rolling up. We were upside down for a long time, so please take your time. Last thing to come up are your shoulders and your head. And roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Standing back up. Feet are right under those hip bones. Give your head a gentle shake, a gentle nod. Wiggle those shoulders, wiggle your head. Wiggle those hands, those arms, your legs. And then find some stillness. Find the engagement in your core. Feel the strength in those legs. Pulling those quads away from those knees. Roll shoulders up, back, and down. Navel to spine. Gently close those eyes and allow what we just did to sink into that body, that beautiful body of yours. Take 3 deep breaths on your own. Celebrating you in this moment, acknowledging your experiences this year, everything you've been through. Congratulate yourself. What an experience. Gently bat open those eyes. I thank you with my whole being for being here in this moment with me today. Let's finish with a deep breath, 3 of them together. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, releasing. 2 more just like that. Inhale up. Let it out through an open mouth. Gathering in all that strength you created for yourself. Grab it into your hands. Draw it close to your heart. Bow your head in gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me today in this moment in time. You are precious to me, and I thank you so much for spending all these moments with me this year. Te quiero mucho, gracias. I love you so much. Have a beautiful moment, a beautiful day, a beautiful year, and I'll see you next time. I love you.